12 college football, and we are going to start with a game that could be sneaky good. I hope it's not a good game, but it could be sneaky good, and that is Oregon at Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin and Camp Randall Stadium is one of my favorite stadiums that I ever got a chance to play in. The fans are amazing. They do jump around. They do the wave. They reverse the wave up and down. This fan base is totally locked in. The only fan base that I feel like is more locked in terms of their chants and, their organization is probably Texas A&M, because they practice the whole night before. So do they at Camp Randall Stadium. And I know everybody talks about going to LSU. They want to go to Alabama. They want to go to Clemson to go watch games. Tennessee, yes, those are all great places to watch games. But Wisconsin is totally underrated. And if you get a chance to go, make sure you go. But this matchup, though, this is an interesting matchup because at the same time that Oregon's defense is peaking against the run, Wisconsin has started to fall off, only managing 400 yards on the ground in their last 3 games combined. And that's not exactly on brand for Wisconsin football. We think about Ron Dane. We think about power football, running it, not a whole lot of passing. But this team is going to have a hard time sustaining drives than Jack Del Rio is right now. Just saying. And beyond that, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who just lost to UCLA, just beat the brakes off of the Wisconsin Badgers. They put up 300 yards plus and 5 touchdowns on a Wisconsin team that had only been allowing 144 yards rushing and 1 touchdown per game over the first 8 games of the season. But Luke Fickell and company have had 2 weeks to prepare to host the #1 undisputed team in all the land. And now that Dillon Gabriel is finally getting the Heisman hype that he deserves. And honestly, this is one of the last chances for Dillon Gabriel to have the type of game that would convince a bulk of the voters who, because we know them East Coast people be going to sleep early, who are still awake even for a 7:30 East Coast kickoff, to be watching all the way till the end. And you got to shine in games like this, particularly early. Otherwise, they could potentially do you like they did Christian McCaffrey. But honestly, it's not even Dillon Gabriel that the Badgers need to be most afraid of. It's Jordan James and this Oregon rushing attack. Because last week, Dan Lanning spared his feature back and because he got nicked up a little bit against Maryland, and he still has confidence in guys like Noah Whittington and in Lamar, because those guys are very capable of not just carrying the load, but being a feature back, whether it's at Oregon or anywhere else. And running backs are guys that want carries. They want carries. They want to be fed so they can get in a rhythm. And only having 7 carries last week is going to have number 20, Jordan James, hungry for a chance to get back to what he does best, which is scoring touchdowns. And in fact, I'm going to bet on it. Oregon at Wisconsin plus 14. So the Oregon Ducks are favored by 14 points, 2 touchdowns. And the thing that is most important for this Oregon team this weekend is to make sure that they are ramping up and getting back to playing high-level football. Against Maryland and Michigan, people might say, oh, Oregon didn't play their best football. Yeah, they weren't as clean as they would ordinarily be, but you can't remain at this high level the entire season. And coaches know you got to ride the wave. And the most important thing is that you are still dominating and at the end of the day, winning football games, because you don't want to peak right now. You want to make sure that you are peaking in the conference championship game and then headed into the college football playoff. You guys make sure that you guys like, subscribe, tell a friend about the Unafraid Show, and leave a comment. Who are you picking in this game?